What's up, Pack Nation? It is Pack here. In today's video, as you can see in the title, I want to do something when it comes to changing players' positions. In 2K, you can change a player's position, and let's say you make Isaiah Thomas a center. Obviously, his rating is going to go down because he's not going to be a good center for any team, like at all, period. That's just the case in the game, and I wanted to see which players, if you change their position, actually get better. Now, I gotta be honest, there's actually a lot, like almost every player you can change their position and they get better a little bit. And I'll go into that into more detail in a second. So I'll do 5 categories or players that really do that in this game. Before this video starts, if you're one of the 57% of viewers who watches these videos that is not subscribed, don't be lame. Be an OG, join the Pack Nation, and subscribe. So, at number 5, it's actually going to be a category of players. There's about, I think, like 10 to 11 players that are in this game that if you change their position from center to power forward, they increase 4 overall. There's a lot of players actually on this list. I want to talk about them one by one. First, we have Tyson Chandler on the Rockets. If you go down here to Tyson Chandler, he is 37 years old, by the way. If you change him from a center, who's a 73 overall, make him a power forward, he's now a 77 overall in the game. I'm not sure what the mindset of a lot of these are. Tyson Chandler's pretty obviously a center in the game. He's an athletic center, catches lobs. At least he can do that kind of thing, even at 37 years old. He's not really a shooter, so I don't know why power forward. I mean, usually when you're power forward, I'm not saying you have to shoot, but you're expected to make a couple, like maybe like little shots here and there outside of the paint. I guess 2K has a different definition of what a power forward needs to do, so they think that he'd be a better power forward even though he's 7 foot tall. It's interesting. And you're going to be seeing a lot of these. For example, Thon Maker on the Pistons, 74 overall, make him power forward, 78 overall. Now, Thon Maker is somebody that I actually believe would be a much better power forward than a small forward. He's not that big to be a center. He's not that strong. He has a shooting game, at least a little bit. So I think that he could be a power forward, and I feel like that would increase his game a little bit. And we can do this for everybody. Tony Bradley, 75 center, 79 power forward, almost an 80 overall. It's a pretty big change. Zubac on the Clippers is a 78 overall, make him a power forward, an 82 overall. Joins the 82 overall club, and that would actually help the Clippers a lot. It would increase his game and make the bench even better unless he's starting. Cody Zeller, 79 overall, make him power forward at 83 overall. He's already doing a pretty good job as center on the Hornets, so I don't know why they would want him to change. And plus you have PJ Washington as this power forward. I feel like him as a center is fine. With Oblaka from the Raptors, as you already know, he's been a power forward for most of his career, especially with the Thunder. In the game, he's an 80 overall center, make him a power forward. Now he's an 84 overall, much better for him. And that's really his true position, to be honest. This one's a weird one. JaVale McGee for the Lakers. They want him to be a power forward. As a center, he's an 80, power forward, 84. That one doesn't make any sense to me. It's kind of a similar situation with Tyson Chandler. He's a defender. He's tall. He's athletic. His job really is to swat shots and dunk as much as he can. So it wouldn't really make sense to make him anything besides a center. And 2 on the Nets. DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen are both 81 overall centers, make him a power forward, 85 and also 85, both of them. Now they actually kind of have different games, but still, I think Jared Allen would make more sense as a power forward, even though I still think he's a center. DeAndre Jordan definitely would be better as a center than a power forward. I think we know that for a fact. Now, even though Nurkic is an 81 overall, that's only because he's injured. He's actually an 83 overall center. If you make him a power forward, he becomes an 87 overall, technically. This one's kind of interesting. This one kind of makes sense to me because, yes, I mean, you already have Hassan Whiteside on the team, and I really doubt he's going to come back this season, but Hassan Whiteside at center with Nurkic at the power forward. You can have anybody at the small forward, I guess. You could have Rodney Hood when he comes back from injury. If not, you could have Melo, and then you could have Lillard and CJ McCollum, and you'd feel like you'd be in a better position than you are now. And finally, the one that was center to power forward is Andre Drummond. This one's really weird. Andre Drummond is like the textbook center. He's an 86 overall center. You make him a power forward, he's a 90 overall. He would join the 90 overall club for the first time in his career as a power forward? That doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't work at all. And then I guess you could have Thon Maker as the center. I don't know what the game plan is here for them. This doesn't make any sense. I think 2K is just being weird on this one. Now at number 4, it's technically the last one of the center to power forward. It is Joel Embiid. Now, Joel Embiid also goes up 4 overall when you make him into a power forward. He goes from a 91 overall to a 95 overall. He goes from a great NBA player to one of the best NBA players when you make him a power forward. Now, I can kind of see what they're trying to do here, or what they're trying to argue. Power forwards, I guess I can shoot, and Joel Embiid is known for shooting threes and jumpers more often than most centers. And a lot of players, or at least former NBA players, have been really disappointed with Joel Embiid because they think he should be much more dominant down low and make his presence known, kind of like more like a Shaq player, because they think that he could be that kind of player and dominate in the NBA. However, 2K believes the opposite. 2K believes that he should really embrace this role of being a shooter, make him a power forward, just let Al Horford be the center, and there you go. Interesting dynamic. I wouldn't say that was like the worst idea ever, but it's an interesting idea. The next one, at number 3, is Patrick Beverley, which is completely different from what we've been doing. Centers to power forwards. This one's a point guard. I want to show you guys. A point guard to not a shooting guard, but a small forward. Point guard, he's a 78 overall. Small forward, he's an 82 overall. Why is that the case? Patrick Beverley's 6'1". I wouldn't call him the most athletic dude in the world. I don't know what he's going to do with the small forward position. I know he guards people who are really good sometimes, who are taller than him. So I guess defensively, he's a great small forward defender. But when it comes to scoring, I don't see him as some kind of small forward. And if you do make him a small forward, you look at the team. Now it's Lou Williams at the point guard, Paul George shooting guard, Kawhi, Patrick Patterson, and Montrezl Harrell, with Patrick Beverley being the sixth man off the bench. Very weird situation. I guess you could actually make Zubac the power forward and make him an 82 overall. Really weird situation. I guess you could kind of do that. I see what they're trying to do, but it's definitely interesting to see a player go from point guard to small forward change. The opposite goes for number 2 with Ben Simmons, also on the Sixers. Ben Simmons is a point guard, 88 overall, but if we mess with his position though, he becomes a small forward from an 88 to a 92. That's +4 for Ben Simmons. This one makes a lot of sense too. I get that Ben Simmons is a great playmaker, and that doesn't mean he can't be a point guard, but he's not a good shooter, and a lot of point guards are expected to be able to shoot, especially in today's NBA. And you're tall, you're 6'10", you're basically, most of your offense is a slashing player and playmaker. You could be a small forward doing that. You could literally be a LeBron without shooting. That's basically what you could be. LeBron's a small forward. You could be a small forward too. That's what, I guess, what the game's arguing. I don't really think it would change overall because I feel like he'd play the same way, but still. If you look at the starting lineup of the Sixers after that, it would be Raul Neto at the point guard because Josh Richardson's injured. Ben Simmons small forward, Joel Embiid power forward, Al Horford would be the center technically. I guess you could do that, but I don't really know if that would really change anything from now. I guess they want just a true point guard at the point guard, I guess. But it's definitely an interesting thing to see. I think it could happen and it could help, maybe. And finally at number 1, this one has to be the most interesting one of all of these. It is on the Kings, and all of these so far have been +4. This one's actually +5 overall change. Now, you might be thinking Darren Fox, but no. It's Kyle Guy, 69 overall on the Kings, point guard. But if you make him a small forward, he's a 74 overall. Kind of a similar situation with Patrick Beverley, but it made sense with Patrick Beverley because Patrick Beverley was a good defender, so he could guard small forwards. Kyle Guy can't. I was really playing with Kyle Guy as a small forward, and I played against the Clippers. They just ISO'd Kawhi Leonard every time because, well, Kyle Guy is guarding you. Just go ahead and score. It kind of just, this makes no sense. This one's actually like the game being broken. I don't know why making Kyle Guy a 74, a small forward, makes him go +5, but apparently that's the case. So clearly this video was just about how changing your position from center to power forward essentially gives you 4+ overall for almost all centers in the game. But I just think that overall it depends. At the end of the day, players and coaches know their players and teams best. Like, yeah, you could say Ben Simmons should be a small forward. I guess you could say that, but Ben Simmons knows what he is. He knows what makes him comfortable and gives him the best kind of game. 2K is just kind of, I guess they're saying how, like, the player build is like, oh, you see the stats, you see the attributes, you see how tall the guy is, the weight, and maybe even the animations, and he goes, oh, this is the animations of a small forward, even though he's a point guard. So that's obviously why you see Isaiah Thomas, you change him from a point guard to a center, and obviously his rating is going to go down because he's short, probably not that strong, and he has like probably no inside scoring game or inside defense at all. So that's basically what like the situation is. That's like the overall what 2K is doing for the most part. At the end of the day, I just wanted to see if it was going to have any interesting stuff, and I think it did have a couple things that were pretty interesting. But that's it for this video, you guys. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys agree with 2K at all? Leave it in the comments below, and if you like my channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.